going on, guys? Pete here. In today's video, I got an exciting one for you. I'm going to be sharing you my favorite stock to do the wheel strategy on. This is a great stock to get some awesome cash secured premiums on, covered call premiums on, collecting some amazing dividends on, and a lot of people sleep on it because it's really boring. So without further ado, let's go over the shoulder. All right, guys. Now, before we get started, I do want to announce that there'll be one lucky winner gets a free option strategy call with me personally. All you have to do to enter to win is drop a comment down below on today's video, and I'll make sure to pick one of you guys out. We can talk all things options and strategy on this call. Nothing to pitch you, nothing like that. So my favorite stock to do the wheel strategy on is Pepsi. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love Pepsi, guys. I think people sleep on Pepsi because number one, it's boring. And number two, I think if you ask most people on the street and even traders, like, why Pepsi? Like, who cares? It's just soda. No, guys, they own hundreds of brands, right? Some of your favorite stuff, right? Mountain Dew being number one, of course, right? But Cheetos, and who doesn't love, some of the iced teas that they own. They literally own 100. The oatmeal brand, the Quaker, like they own so many brands. So number one, when I'm looking for a company to wheel like long term on, that's what I'm looking for. And I've been wheeling Pepsi for like, I don't even know, like 10 years now. Like, so I love this company because it also usually trades sideways. Now, if we go out like the past like 5 years on Pepsi, for the most part, we're about sideways. Now, there was some cool stuff that happened with Pepsi recently, and it just took a dump, which I was like, this is amazing. This is such great opportunity because, like, come on, like Pepsi at 140, like it's so good, right? The fundamentals of the company are fantastic. It's an okay PE being at like 22. Like, I personally love like these more like stable companies to be like at 19, 20 personally, but it's all good, right? This market's insane anyway. So but again, with a good wheeling company is stable, in my opinion, right? Because right, we want to get in on those puts, right? We want to sell those puts for cash, right? We want to get out of the company as well for the appreciation when we sell our calls and collect premiums for that as well. But then sometimes you're gonna be stuck holding the bag for a while, right? You might be stuck holding 1,000 shares of Pepsi or 100 shares of Pepsi for like a year, right? And you might be running your covered calls on that and collecting premium. But I like to also have that dividend, right, as well, right? That's that icing on the cake, right, with selling options. So I'm getting an extra 3.54% a year in addition to the premium I'm collecting, right? I always like to look at like premium as like a manufactured dividend, right? And it kind of is like that, right? So looking at Pepsi here, I'm going to just pull up our Yahoo Finance and let's take a look at some opportunities that are around Pepsi right now, because I do believe there's always opportunities out there, guys. It's just, I think a lot of people in when they get into like trading options and selling options, they go out there and they get bombarded with all these different opportunities and stocks. And that's what's cool. There's so many opportunity in like trading stocks and selling options. And but the thing is, you just got to pick like your team, right? Your 10 to 15 stocks that you like to do it. And Pepsi for me is one of those that I'm monitoring basically every single day to see if there's an opportunity for me to sell some calls, sell some puts, and just see, right, like what's going on. All right. So I'm going over to Yahoo Finance. I'm going to click the chart. I add in your indicators here, guys. One thing on your Bollinger Bands I do recommend is to switch it to the 30-day moving average. So you'll be able to edit that. Mine's already in here. And that basically means that this middle line is going to tell you what your 30-day moving average on the stock was, right? So it's about like 145 for us here. So I'm just going to open this back up to a 6-month chart, right? So right now, when we're looking at this Bollinger Band, we're seeing, right, that Pepsi's really kind of at where towards the middle of the Bollinger Band. So for when I look at this like on the offset, that means we're kind of just going sideways right now. We're just kind of coasting right now. We had a lot of kind of we've been getting beat up, right? Pepsi's been getting a bit beat up, right? The past 6 months, right? You could see that because you could see the stock price just bouncing off that bottom of Bollinger Band and continuing to go down. Right now we finally, right, it's been a minute, right, but now we finally have broken through that middle Bollinger Band, and now we're testing, we're seeing what's going to happen. Are we going to hit off that top Bollinger Band and retract? Are we going to kind of start going back up towards those 170 levels, right? where Pepsi, hangs out, for a majority of time, right? And you could see our RSI here is around 50. That's dead center. RSI means, relative strength index. That means how overbought or oversold a company is going to be, right? So if it's above 50, that means that people are, they're buying it. It's being a little bit overbought. Now, I like to be at the high 50s and 60s before really saying if something is being overbought. And then if it's below 50, low 40s, 30s, 20s, right? That's when a company's being oversold. That means the price is going to start tanking on us, right? Because a lot of people are selling that stock. They're trying to get out of it, right? There might be some news that came out about it, whatever it is, right? And you could see that, like, you can back this all up with data, right? So, like, for example, let me just zoom in here a little bit for you guys. All right. Just because I want you guys to be able to do this for yourselves. Like, if I just tell you like this stuff, like, and you don't understand it, like, it's just like, that's the point of this channel so you guys really understand this stuff. You don't need to pay like $4,000 for a course to get this stuff. It's not like my mission with this stuff is to educate like normal everyday people about selling options, because it's not complicated. It's really not complicated, but people make it out to be. So you give them money either to manage your finances for you or to sell you a course and just complicate things. It's not that complicated, right? So I just zoomed in here a little bit when Pepsi was towards this bottom of the Bollinger Band. So take a look here. Right here, we're trading what, around 142 Pepsi, 142. And then if we go down to our RSI, where's our RSI at the time? 22. That's huge. I'm actually shocked it didn't tank lower on that day, right? But that's a 22 RSI. That means, right, it's being oversold, right? That means that everybody's trying to get out. The sentiment, some news came out, whatever it is, like, people are just trying to get out of the stock because they're scared. Everybody's selling it, selling it, selling it. These are the times when cash secured puts, selling puts, are the best time to do it, because you're getting into companies at the best possible price. Okay. This is where I'm telling you, this is going to be the toughest lesson you learn, but it's also going to be the most financially rewarding lesson you learn in this game. And I wish somebody taught me earlier, because I know the emotions of the markets, they can, they'll fucking destroy everybody. Sorry for the language, but they can really get the best of you like nothing else. My recommendation, right, is have a plan and stick to it. Stick to your plan. Now, I understand you sometimes have to pivot and stuff, but like, if you're in like good companies that you believe in, like Pepsi, like, stick to your guns, stick to your plan. Okay. Now, what do I mean? Like, what's my plan? So, for example, Pepsi's on my watch list. Okay. I wake up one morning and I'm like, it's 9:30, bell rings. We started having a good day the other day. And now 2 days later, 3 days later, Pepsi's starting to really run down. Like, everybody's selling off. We have a 20 RSI, right? Pepsi's at 142. I go to my options chain. I start looking at my selling my puts, cash secured puts, maybe to get in at like a 135 or 140, even for Pepsi. The premiums are looking juicy. They're thick, right? They're nice. But are you going to pull the trigger? Are you going to pull the trigger on actually opening up or selling that option? Are you going to do it? Most people in that moment won't, because they'll be too scared to. They'll be like, what's going on with Pepsi? It's at a 142 already. What if it goes to like 120? What if it just gets lower? Like, what if it goes out of business? This is where you need to stick to your plan, right? So, number one, stick to your plan. Number two, for me personally, at least, again, no financial advice, just some dude on the internet talking about what I love to do every day, is if the stock is trading below my average purchase price, I'm happy to buy it. So if my average purchase price of Pepsi is like 150 and it's at these 135 or 142 levels, and I can open up sell some puts for 140, 135 and collect a great premium for them, I'm going to do it. So, for example, let's see how this played out, right? Let's see how this actually played out. So, this is January 10th. Let's say you came in here and you're like, okay, I'm sticking to my plan. It's going down. It's trading past the bottom of the Bollinger Band. RSI is 22. Okay, perfect. That tells me this is a great setup to start selling puts, cash secured puts on, right? I go open my Robinhood app. I look at the options chains for 30 days from now, right? And I'll just show you guys like a fictitious example. Okay, I'm in my Robinhood app. I go to my trade options. And again, fictitious example, I'm going to my 34 days out. Perfect. All right, I'm going to go look. Let's just pretend these are like 140s right now, right? We're going to click sell. We're going to click put. We're selecting our 34 days out, March 7th. Okay, perfect. And again, pretend that these puts are these are 140, because at the time we're just going back in time. I don't want to open think or swim with showing like historical data, because that'll just scare the crap out of you guys. But definitely start using think or swim if you want to be like more involved trader. But whatever, let's say these are it, and then you're like, okay, perfect. You know what? I can open up, right, some 140 puts. I can open up some 140 puts, right, that expire in a month on Pepsi, and I'm actually going to get paid $375 for that. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's looking nice. Let me open up my CSP calculator. Okay, my premium here, and this is. Oh, actually, guys. So all these calculators, I decided to put it all in one place for us together. Not everything is free here. I do have a free community that I created. There's a live chat in there, like a community forum. We can all vibe out, talk shop, share our wins, what strategies we're doing. It's just a fun ass community. We can all add our own resources in there. I'll leave a link for that in the description. Just click join waitlist, because I don't want like any bots going in there, and then I'll approve you. Usually I go in there every night and I'll just approve everybody that wants to join in. Introduce yourself. Let's all vibe out and make some money selling options. So, all right, we're back at it. Let's go. We're looking here. Okay, we got our 142 Bollinger Band setups looking nice. Delta's looking nice. And then we are adding into our CSP calculator. And that's all right, when all the calculators and stuff are in that members area. Okay, perfect. Our 375. All right, so we want to see how we want to get in at 140, right? So that's going to require us a collateral, of $14,000. Okay, perfect. Happy with that. Oh my gosh, all right, that's looking nice, right? We're getting on our money, our $14,000 of collateral. We're collecting $375. That's a 2.68 return just on that trade in 1 month. Love to see it close to 3% in just a single month return. I mean, come on now, annualized, we're looking at 27%. Fantastic. Let's open it up. And that's the play. It's done. You stuck to your guns. Okay, a couple days go by. Right, let's look how this played out. We shot up the 13th. We're back at 144. We traded a little sideways for a little bit. We got it at 148, right? We keep going. Boom, we shot up. It's the 27th now, right? 27th, right? About getting close to 130 days. We're at 154, right? Mr. Market's telling you, you know what? This contract that you opened up, you know what? You can close this thing out. You can close it out for, $75. Okay. You're like, okay, you know what? For $75, I'll totally do that. And then I can still, my collateral, $14,000 in collateral will be released. So I can go work on other plays, work on other setups and make some money. Fantastic. I'll do it. Right. That'll still give me a nice 2% return in what? 20 days about that was? What is that? From down here, if you stuck to your plan to the 10th, to the 20th, that's like 17 days. That's 17 days. You would have been able to close that out. 17-day expiration. All right, perfect. Totally worth it. So I know I went through that fast. Let me explain real quick what I just did. And this is how you're going to start to think. This is why I recommend, tune in daily, join our community. Let's chat, vibe out on this stuff, because you're going to get this real quick. This stuff isn't complicated, but you'll start quickly being able to analyze stuff. Why did I close out this thing? Well, and firstly, what are you talking about closing it out? So, right, when we open up this, when we sold this put, right, it was valuable, right? Because a lot the sentiment, it was going towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band, right? Everybody's selling off. Selling options essentially is selling like insurance for somebody, right? So, but as the company started going back up, right, and going towards here, the sentiment, and people are buying it now. It's being overbought. You could see our RSI is at 61 right here, right? So it's starting to go up. That means that your option here that you sold, your put, is starting to be basically worthless, because like no one's really thinking it's going to go back down to those levels, right? So what the market will do for you is be like, hey, you know what? You can close that thing out. Just give us a little bit of that premium back. Work the numbers for yourself. I like to just use this very simple calculator. I want to keep things simple for yourself. So let's say it's like, give us $75, pay us back from that cash we gave you, right? We gave you 375. Give us $75 back. You keep your 300 and you can close out your contract, and that will release your collateral as well to go run other plays, right, on your watch list. I always like to look that my annual return here is higher, right? Now, I don't have an exact number, but as long as it's higher, I'm happy with it. So you can see we went from a 27% return to a 46% annual return on this trade. That to me means it's worth closing out. But sometimes you might come in here and be like, okay, you know what? Or, this option expires in a week, but it's been basically going sideways. And they might say, you know what? We want $200 for you to close it out, right? So you'll only get to keep 175 of your money. That's not worth closing out. You might as well just wait the week, ride it out, and collect your full premium, right? Because look, your annual return is basically the same. Your monthly return is basically, is lower. It's not worth it, especially if there's like a week or 2 weeks left to it. Might as well let it ride out, and then see what happens in the following week. Who knows? It might shoot up, and you might be able to still close it out a week early. But in this case, I wouldn't close it out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know we went through a lot. Drop a comment, win a free option strategy call with me. I'll leave a link for our free community out down below. All the resources, all these calculators, all that good stuff are in there. There's a live chat function in there. There's a cool app on it. It's really cool. I love this thing. It's like called like WAP or something, that I'm really excited to try out with everybody. And we just vibe out. We talk selling options. That's what we do every single day. I would love to hear your plays, your wins, your premiums that you're collected, all that stuff. You guys can post in there, ask questions. But that is it for today's video, guys. I will see you tomorrow.